Our next panel is looking at unleashing business growth potential through interregional partnerships. So very much a focus now on the business environment in Croatia and in this region. So let me ask our three speakers to join me now on the stage. Igor Pokaz from the Croatian Chamber of Economy, Rade Ljumović from Henley Partners, and Boris Petrušić, Board of Governors member from AmCham Croatia. Gentlemen, please take a seat. Okay, we've got half an hour for this discussion, and probably I should give all of you the opportunity to say a few words first about your own organizations and what you're doing and your perspective on this topic, looking at particularly at the growth potential in infrastructure projects in the region, connectivity, and so on. So over to you, Igor Pokaz.
Well, thank you, Joanne, and thank you for having me at this panel. Rarely in my life I have used the word unleash, so this is a unique experience for me. I think it's the first time, actually. I'll just pick up on the very inspiring remarks by Enrico Letta, who said that Europe, compared to its rivals, is too small, it's too fragmented, and it's not integrated enough. And the interregional cooperation, something that we are discussing today, can actually address two of these issues. I don't think it can help us to become larger as such, but it can help us to become more integrated and to become less fragmented. So that's something maybe to start with. And I was thinking which actually initiative, interregional one, to talk about today. And then one came as a natural choice, because we'll have a presidency of it and a summit organized in Croatia in April, and it's the Three Seas initiative, which basically connects the Baltics, so the Baltic region, with the south of Europe through Central Europe. And it sort of serves as an example where three different regions could be connected through one interregional initiative. And as many of you would know, the initiative started like 10 years ago on the initiative of the Polish and the Croatian presidents in those days. The principal idea behind the initiative is to address something which was not addressed during the integration process of the countries of Central and Eastern Europe to European Union and NATO, and that is a lack of the infrastructure that connects countries from the Baltic, from the north to the south. So most of the infrastructure went the other way, so from the west to the east, but not from the north to the south. And realizing there is a need for that, there is opportunity for that, countries decided to join together to form the initiative and to start addressing these issues. So there are 13 countries that are part of the initiative, all the EU members, from Baltics down to Greece, and as I said, with Central European countries, Croatia being among them, trying to identify projects, work on the projects that would address these issues, primarily in the field of transport, energy, and digitalization. And Croatia will be hosting a summit in April, and usually these summits are always being accompanied by a business forum. So to provide for the companies from the countries to come together, to join their efforts, to identify projects where they work together. And we are looking forward to be, as a Croatian Chamber of Economy, one of the stakeholders in this business forum, part of the initiative. So as I said, it will be at the end of April, where else but in Dubrovnik. So initially, I just wanted to pick up on one of the initiatives which has this interregional character. Obviously, I could have selected some maybe from the region, although for us the region is Slovenia and Austria and Hungary, but also Montenegro and Macedonia and neighboring countries. and to point out to lack of infrastructure or to lack of connectivity. My dear colleague from Montenegro probably did not fly to Croatia, to Zagreb by direct flight, but had to go somewhere through Vienna or Belgrade or something. So all these issues actually affect the cooperation that could grow within the countries, within the region, if there is a better connectivity and better infrastructure.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, good to hear a bit more about the 3Cs initiative, which I know is a big focus in this region. We don't hear too much about it in London, not enough probably. So over to Rade Ljumović.
Thanks, John. It's great to see you and distinguished colleagues. Dobar dan svima. Divno je biti Crnogorac u Zagrebu uvijek i htio bih da vas pozdravim u ime kompanije Henley Partners. We are the global company, as you know, so I would like also to give a little bit of global overview of who we are, to present ourselves. We are dealing with the world of migrations, which also can be related to the topic, I'm sure. So Henley Partners, where I work, is the global leader, EU residence and citizenship by investment with our 70 offices worldwide. The overall concept of residence and citizenship was created by Henley Partners, and as globalization has expanded, residence and citizenship have become topics of significant interest among the increasing number of internationally mobile entrepreneurs and investors. We also run, which I think is interesting for the audience, world's leading government advisory practice for investment migration, which has raised more than $15 billion in foreign direct investments. Maybe you don't know the company, but maybe you know some of our so-called products. So famous Henley Passport Index, it's always interesting to see where your passport is ranked. Currently, top 3 strongest are Singapore, South Korea, and Japan. So it's interesting to hear the region. Croatia ranking at the high 7th place among the other EU countries, so congratulations on that. Other report is on the wealthiest cities of the world. Top 5 are New York, Bay Area in California, Tokyo, Singapore, and Los Angeles. So we are pretty much related to academia and writing the publications and books about the topic of immigrations, investment migration especially. I'm the managing partner in our office in Podgorica, and which serves as a regional hub for Central and Southeast Europe. And this gives me a nice combination to give overview what's happening in the region, but also globally. I have 7 years long experience with Henley Partners. Before I worked with the government of Montenegro and have my own private business. I can see firsthand the significant potential of these programs in the world, and I think they are important for securing Europe's prosperity in the age where safety is not longer a given. Maybe you will be interested to hear that we have 43% of surge in applications in 2025 comparing to the previous year. I told you we are the leading company in the world. These programs enable direct capital infusions that enable nations to fund crucial initiatives and to actually work against the debts of the countries. Our biggest sourcing market now is US. That came after COVID, after 2022, after winning of President Trump. So this all influenced. So the biggest leading market is the US. Also UK, very interesting market. And usually the clients want to do parallel things. Let's say EU residence, maybe citizenship in country like Nauru, and they're combining this plan B, which is the most important thing for them, and especially for their kids. On the government advisory side, we work, as I said, with the governments all over the world. I'm related to all governments, basically in Central and Southeast Europe. And we are competing as a region. We heard the word competition a lot of time today. So Central and South America will come soon with our programs, like Argentina, Costa Rica, Panama, also Africa with some interesting programs. So this is a global market also. 3 good examples that I would say. Maybe some of you heard for Malta program. Malta was super successful program with the thorough due diligence, which generated more than 1 billion euros only regarding the program without side effects. Greece is golden visa. It's very famous. So I think colleagues told me property raised 4.5 billion euros in just 2 years, and alongside of that, retail, education, professional services, all side effects. Of course, as I said at the beginning, and I'm at least last 10 years every summer in Croatia, being in Istria, to Zadar, Šibenik, Split, Dubrovnik. Every Christmas always I have friends who lives in Dubrovnik, so I go there for Christmas. So tremendous potential, I don't need to tell you. If you would like to make this influx of most successful, most talented people in the world with the proper, let's say, residence program, which would be my recommendation. In Montenegro, we had citizenship by investment program run by the government. We were licensed agents. We succeeded to submit 1,000 applications. We collected 500 million euros to the Montenegrin economy. We had C-level Google, Estee Lauder, KPMG, Deloitte, Harvard Medical, so a lot of successful people passed through the program. So to finish with that, thorough due diligence, that's the key. If you would like to work with the most successful people and to try to bring them to the country, I think Henley Partners might be the right partner to implement. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Rade. And now over to Boris Petrušić.
Yeah, thank you. Greetings, everybody. Representing American Chamber of Commerce today, we are private association, business association with 370 members in Croatia. We run an analysis and we are employing, or our members are employing 110,000 people alone in Croatia. All private companies and collaboration between the countries and in the region is already happening, so we are doing it. No borders or no any objections for public sector to follow. Everybody sees opportunities. The region within the 3 Cs is the most growing part of the Europe currently, and we have a very big potential. So our members invest and we create jobs and bring new ideas and form long-term partnership that connect Croatia and our region with the European market and transatlantic economy. From this point of view, one thing is clear. Europe's strength and stability depend on better connections, and it is in transport, which we see a lot of potential in Croatia, in trade, in digital systems. Digitalization is one of the topics that we very often discuss, and of course in political cooperation. Croatia is located in Adriatic and the center of the 3 Cs region. We have a very strong position to help build these connections. From IT perspective, which I also represent in my company Oracle, we are a global IT vendor and cloud hyperscaler. We can bring forward, or we are already bringing forward the technologies needed for companies to succeed, to get into AI game, to get better with their businesses and just get a competitive edge.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we've got time for discussion, and actually I've been talking quite a lot and asking a lot of questions, so maybe I should take this opportunity to open to the floor. So if anybody has a question that you would like to put to any of the panelists, please raise your hand. We have microphones, and stand up probably so that I can see you and raise your hand. I'll give you maybe a few moments yeah, to think about that if you do have a question. But yeah, let's go back, and we'll go back to 3 Cs. I think to start with the 3 Cs initiative. And how many members now did you say it has?
13.
13.
Yeah,
13.
All European Union member states.
Yeah. And obviously it's been this has been in process for some years now. So what would you identify as the kind of main accomplishments, or main kind of success stories, especially for Croatia and this region?
Yeah, Croatia is centrally located when it comes to this initiative. So if you look at the map of Europe, you'll see how central Croatia is when we talk about the 3Cs initiative. And not only that, we are centrally located. And we did a major project, which is now part of it, which is LNG terminal at the island of Krk. So by doing that, by constructing this terminal, making a decision on time, we somehow prevented Croatia being hit by energy crisis, maybe the way that some other countries were. So, and this terminal is now being booked and reserved for years and years to come, and we are considering enlarging. Actually, it's in the process of enlarging its capacity. But there are some other projects in other countries. So, like the Baltics, they managed to synchronize their electric grid with the rest of the European Union. Some infrastructure in the railway and highway is being developed. So there are a number of projects currently being worked at, but there is still a lot of potential to bring more at the table, and that's what's going to be the aim of the summit in Dubrovnik. There is also ideas to look further and to see how this project could be related or connected to some other existing projects. So, for example, just to illustrate the thinking, idea is to find ways, perhaps discussions are ongoing, to connect or to see what the cooperation could be with the IMEC, the Indian Middle East European Economic Corridor, so to see whether there is a potential to somehow connect the two and what would be the benefits of having that. So I'm sure this would be one of the topics to be discussed at the Dubrovnik summit.
Mm. And I mean, just to follow up, and do you see this, over the kind of medium term, spurring more integration of energy markets in this Western Balkans region as well? Obviously very fragmented and big obstacles there, but do you see that happening?
Absolutely. As I said initially, this project could only add to less fragmentation of Europe in whole, but also of the region south or east of Croatia. Yeah,
thanks. Just checking if anybody's got a question before I move on. Any hands? Don't be shy. We like to have questions from the floor. So, yeah, just raise your hands if you have any. If not, let me come back to you, Rade. In terms of, you talked about some of the successful programs, very successful ones that you've run in Malta and Greece and so on. I mean, what would you say is the kind of the most, what are the rewards, for a country that are signing up for this, beyond obviously bringing money into the state budget, which can then hopefully be used by governments for various purposes, to be spent on infrastructure, to be spent on social safety nets or whatever. I mean, beyond that, what's the benefits for the kind of broader economy and business environment of these investment migration schemes? Is it know-how, bringing know-how, or what are the things that you would identify?
Thank you for the question. It's always nice to have a question that you can answer from the practice. So as I said, I was running still running Montenegro office. We had very successful Montenegro program. So I personally accommodated more than 500 families from all over the world. I think almost 50 nationalities who applied for our citizenship. And coming even Croatia, we were listening the previous debate how small Europe is, how small these countries are. And you know that I'm coming from one of the smallest countries in Europe, 600,000 people. So to see, you were asking me about the influence, to see the influence beside financial one, which is substantial. So somebody give donation or invest in the real estate or development €500,000 for us, It's really significant. All these people are vetted with external due diligence providers and approved by the government. The most interesting thing for me is when they come, let's say for passport or residence card, and they then start to, in a way, integrate. As I told you at the beginning, usually they are using this as a plan B, so it's not maybe immediate relocation. I can tell you that I had 12 clients from top management of Google who came, and when I asked them, they are not anymore in that company, so it's not completely relevant, but I asked them why. They were thinking 30 years in the future, 50 years in the future. They said, you will be in the EU, we see this part of the world as the safe, as not so polluted, as nice people, and things like that. So the biggest benefit is to see these people influencing with their knowledge, and if we as a region, and I think we could easily, as I said, I'm often in Croatia, especially on the coast, seeing a lot of Americans coming every year in Dubrovnik, that they actually more and more come here, because these are not only the wealthiest, these are, don't forget, the smartest people, intelligent people that you would like to be around you, and that will influence us positively also with our small sicknesses that we have as small nations here.
Okay, thanks. Just checking any hands here with a question. No? Okay, let me come back to you, Boris. Yeah, just talking again about the problem of connectivity and fragmentation. We've talked a little bit about energy, and we'll be talking about that later, of course, in more detail in the session later on. But just wanted to talk to you about what's happening in terms of improving transport infrastructure connections in the region on the one hand, and also the kind of digital connections, because obviously Croatia actually is managed to do very well in that area, has been quite a success story. We're going to talk about that again in the next session. But what is it that Croatia can offer to the rest of this region, Western Balkans region, in that respect?
Yep. From the perspective of transportation, we are in the middle of the three seas, and Croatia has a really big potential, and we are building railways. We have done building the highways. There are still some constructions. There is a big potential with LNG terminal, bringing to other countries down north, up north, and it is just ongoing investment, and we need to follow up on that.
Well, just on the investment question, I guess all this stuff is very costly, and as we know, and where is that investment going to come from? I mean, beyond public investment in terms of private sector, and is it the case that it's much easier to attract investment through initiatives such as 3Cs with groups of countries getting together, or other such forums? And just to get your perspective about that, really, how can this country and this region really not accelerate, but ensure that there is a steady stream of investment into these critical kind of infrastructure areas?
Thanks. Yesterday I have a brief discussion with a colleague from Moody's, and he commented that while driving in taxi from airport to the hotel, the Croatian taxi driver was always complaining, and I told him that it's a national sport here in Croatia. We are all just complaining. But in reality, and we also discussed, we are doing fine or better than the average, which is also okay. And the whole region is a big motor for the Europe, and there are plans to use it, and the foreign investments are going more and more, and the ranking is getting better. So I think there is a big perspective. From digitalization, there is also, we have a very big and very capable IT sector here in Croatia, together with the regional countries. And in Oracle, we are also operating in all regional, and we are doing inter-country, multi-country projects. I can mention one project that we did recently, which went into production this year. The EU country within the 3Cs region, they developed a digital citizenship application, which they need to infrastructure put into production very soon. They had a choice: build the infrastructure by yourself, which would take them some time to procure, to manage, to install, and put into motion, or they could bought already prefabricated solution, which in the end they did. It took them only 6 months to put it into production. The know-how is still on their side because they are the ones having the knowledge of developing the application, and all the data is secure because the solution is based within the country, and Europe is very much regulated with all the data protection, cybersecurity, etc. We need to be compliant with that. So that was their most and first ask, and they got all that, and they were very, very fast. And yeah.
Great, thank you. We've got just less than 3 minutes left. So I suppose the final question for all of you really is, you know, to say what you see as the key strengths of the business operating environment here in Croatia that makes it attractive for investors, but also, more importantly, what would you identify as what needs to be done in terms of, you know, reform of the operating regulatory environment, some would make a difference now in the next year or two? Maybe Igor, to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, Croatia always tops the list when it comes to English fluency. So I think that's something that's important for foreign investors when they come to a country. So the knowledge of English language is really very good in Croatia. Croatia is a safe country, so we always rank among the first countries when it comes to safety, which I also think is very, very important. And tech savvy, I would say. Boris could probably add to that, but the new generations, they're really tech savvy, and that all combined could serve as an attractive model for those coming to Croatia, apart from being centrally located, as I said, member of the Eurozone, Schengen, and everything else that Prime Minister referred to. There is always room for improvement, so our member states in the chamber would probably have a list of something that they would like to be done better, but I think it's important that we are on a good track, and then when it comes to adjusting taxes and everything else related, it's not as maybe important.
Boris, anything to add? Anything that you'd like to see, or your members?
Maybe just to comment, it was briefly mentioned by the Prime Minister, the demography problem, and Europe, basically, we are shrinking in size and in members. And I was discussing with my son. He's going to university, and we want all the young people and all the brightest people to just get some experience in the world and just bring the best of that knowledge locally, and participate in the economy in the region back home.
Okay, thanks. Rade, any last point from you?
Henley Partners has 70 offices, as I said. The last 3 years, people from my office were chosen twice for the most excellent people in that system. My message is, we are better as individuals than we think we are. We live in the most beautiful part of the world. We need systems like Swiss system brought Henley Partners to Montenegro and these parts. If we are in the system, I think we are more than competitive.
Okay, excellent. Well, please join me in thanking our 3 panelists, and that's the end of the session. Thank you very much, gentlemen.